Hello, welcome. This is another episode of Star Authority TV, where you learn the secrets on how to amp up your star power and create your authority brand in order to attract the right audience to your message. Today's show is going to be a lot of fun. I can already tell. We are joined by an influencer, a branding expert, and you're going to see she definitely has the star power. Welcome to the show, officially Quigley.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. We're going to have a blast chatting.
I'm so excited to interview you. We have to start with your name. What does officially Quigley mean? How did it come about? And what's the story behind it?
Absolutely. Well, when I was 19, I auditioned for American Idol and was on season 8 of the show. And it was an amazing experience. And after the show, if you Googled my name, which is Casey Carlson, that's my given name, I only came up with American Idol stuff, but I really, really wanted to establish myself as an artist and as a creator apart from that massive entity. And so I was starting my own music project and I decided to go with the name Quigley. It is actually my grandma's maiden name. And just keep it in the family. And I started a EP back then and put out some music. And as I was exploring kind of what it meant to be a musician and an artist in LA, I took up the side hobby of fashion blogging and started a fashion blog called Officially Quigley. And I was in my head just like, okay, whatever one takes off faster is what I'm going to lean into. And the blog just really picked up and gained traction and momentum as social media became more and more of a thing. And now I'm Quigley, the blogger. I started Quigley the musician, and now I'm Quigley the blogger.
You are officially Quigley, which is even more important. Well, I love that. I love that story. There's a lot that's going on because you've actually gone through a rebrand throughout your career. So maybe people who are watching the show don't really understand why you would want to do that. But when it comes to building your own personal brand and your authority, maybe you could tap into some of that thought process, because I don't think that's easy to do.
Absolutely. My biggest thing was when I was on American Idol, the press sort of wanted to turn my story into a scandal. They dug up some bikini photos that I had done in college, and it was something I was really proud of because it was a fundraiser for breast cancer research, but I just didn't want my body to be the first thing people saw when they Googled my name. If I'm putting out new music, is what I want people to see when they type my name into the search bar, bikini photos of me and, just American Idol stuff over and over. And the answer was no. I want them to see my art. So I was like, okay, well, we'll have to rebrand. We'll have to decide what my stage name is going to be and, really evaluate, does it fit the kind of music I'm making? Casey Carlson, my given name, sounds like girl next door, kind of like girl with a guitar vibe. But I was making electronic pop on my laptop. So I was like, Quigley just sounds so much more on brand for me. And so it was a really exciting pivot. And now people know me as Quigley, and it stands out more, and it really exudes, I think, all of the energy and excitement behind my brand and my blog today. So
fantastic. I very well explained about the purpose of a brand. And I really love that you are an artist who's also taking control of your brand. That's fantastic, because there are a lot of people who may have an artistic talent, but they don't understand the business of branding. So congratulations on making that shift.
thank you so much.
Very exciting. Well, we are definitely in the company of a branding expert and an influencer. Sounds like you have so many talents with art and fashion and writing. So we're going to go as deep as we can in our time today. And let me start by asking you, what is your definition of star power?
I would say my definition of star power is the ability to tap into your unique gift and share it unapologetically.
Nice. Very well said. Fantastic. And when it comes to star power, do you believe that everyone has it or anyone can cultivate it? And what would be your biggest tip on how someone could find that authentic gift inside of themselves?
I think this is a really hard question because I think people really struggle with the pressure to define what their purpose is. And it can be really overwhelming for some people who aren't as naturally inclined to like one specific thing. And this is going to sound really weird, and maybe you've heard this before, but I like to think about not necessarily what makes us excited, but what pisses us off. Because if you can get your blood boiling, right? Like if something makes you really angry, there's a reason why it's making you angry. And for me, I'm like from Minnesota, I'm so like, it takes a lot to piss me off. But for me to get really fired up and passionate about something, that's when I feel like I tap into my star power. And I found that with my blog because I was really affected by the way that the media portrayed my body as a woman. And that made me angry. And I wanted to show in my blog how women can dress and express themselves unapologetically. And so that was where I found my star power, where I really found that gift that I have to give. And yeah, I think it's almost just listen to what pisses you off and then go in the opposite direction and you will find your unique purpose.
That's really a great way to look at it because it is so counterintuitive. And when you're building your brand, when you're really thinking about what impact do I want to make, it's just as important to recognize what are my values as well as what will I not stand for, because those define who you are as a person. And then when you can represent that as a brand, it just makes you more powerful to your audience. Great. Again, I love these answers because they're so counterintuitive, right? It's not what you expect a girl in a pink hat to say whatever pisses you off.
Gotta laugh.
Well, that's fantastic. Okay, now let's talk about authority. Because yes, we want the star power. We want to attract attention, which there's all different ways to do that. And you've even touched on how your first round of branding with the media attracted attention that you didn't want and wasn't aligned with who you want to be as an artist and a creator and an influencer. And so how did you find the authority to really take control of your brand? And what would you give as a piece of advice for somebody who wants to own their own authority?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to having the confidence, right? And I think a lot of us, if we do have experiences where we get knocked down, or we do have experiences where we're feeling maybe I can't do it, it's hard to find that authority from a place of insecurity, right? So my biggest thing would go back to, if you have the confidence, you can find the authority. And it's a mindset shift of changing from I can't to I can, and always pushing past the I can't to the I can. And basically, like, I don't know, you hear fake it till you make it a lot, but that was a lot. That had to do with, you know, the trajectory of my success a lot, because I didn't know what I was getting into with my blog. Like I didn't feel any authority at all. When I finished school, I I finished Idol and then I finished up my journalism degree. But at that point, there was no social media. Social media wasn't really a thing. And so I had to sort of pave my way in terms of figuring out what business and brand I was building, because it was non-existent. People didn't make money as influencers and as bloggers. And so for me, it was just having the confidence to go, okay, if I don't know this shit, I gotta figure it out. You know, if I don't know how to start a blog, I've got to Google it. No one's going to teach it to me or hand it to me on a platter. I have to just learn these skills and figure it out as I go. And so I think a lot of it was just pushing past that insecurity of, I can't do this because no one's done it, to, oh, I will be the first person to do this because no one's done it. And yeah, I think that's eventually, as you exercise that muscle and do that more and more often, you'll feel the authority. And when you feel the authority, you will get treated as an authority.
Excellent. You know, that's really the hidden secret to all of this, is that you create your own authority. And I think it's really important for anyone watching to get that. And I discovered that when I started publishing my own books, and people began to see me as the authority. And I realized, wow, no one walked up and handed me a crown or gave me a wand and said, here you go, you're now an authority. It was me building it. And so that's great to hear you saying that as well. And it absolutely starts with confidence. And so we're talking about star power and authority, and you have found this incredible career as a blogger, as an influencer. So many people want to be you. Right? They're like, that's my dream career. And what would you say to somebody who wants to get started?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the cool thing is that people can be influencers in so many spheres these days. It's not just fashion. It's not just beauty. You know, there are food bloggers who are blossoming in their careers. Like, there are people who influence on things as specific as just the topic of confidence or just the topic of photography. So I think what's really cool is that I think that there's so much space for everyone. So the first thing I would say is go for it, because there is room for everyone. And then the second thing I would say is focus on what value you have to bring to the world. A lot of people focus on what they're going to gain from the situation of being an influencer. Am I going to get free clothes? Am I going to get free hotel rooms? Are people going to send me on trips? You know, and how many followers do I have? And if you can really filter all of that out and just focus on, what do I want to provide? What's my service to my community? If I'm running a business and I'm running a brand, what am I selling? What am I giving to people? Am I providing entertainment? Am I providing resources? Am I providing education? Whatever it is, make sure whatever output you have is chock full of value. And that's how you will attract an audience, and that's how you'll gain influence.
Excellent. The value creation, I think that is so important for every person who wants to start a business or is running a business. If you don't have customers or clients or people following you, then it is always about the value equation. And so start there. Well done. It's like we're tapped into the same mind or something. I kind of think we have so many similarities philosophically around business. And
Yeah.
I love that you're using your brand as your own personal expression. So I am really big on your greatest expression of your soul and being completely authentic to who you are and your voice. And it seems like you've tapped into that as well. Would you agree that that's important, not only for capturing an audience, but even for you as an influencer to keep the longevity and not burn out?
Oh, absolutely. When I was focused too much on external stuff, I burnt out like every 5 months. I would hit like a massive wall. focusing on, you know, comparing myself to other people in my industry, or whether it was just being a perfectionist, all of those things that come out in me that are just negatively charged will come out if I'm not focused on, you know, the value that I'm providing and the service that I'm providing. Which, you know, I mean, people go on roller coasters all the time. That's not to say I don't have bad days, because I still do. But most of the time I just try and focus on how freaking cool it is that people can be artists these days and can let their passion drive their business, because of social media. I mean, like, media and digital in general connects us in ways that were just not possible for our parents' generations. So it's just so exciting that I think the creative, you know, mind is really the future, and that's really cool.
It's awesome. It's amazing. I would agree that social media has leveled the playing field, because when I started writing books and building websites way back in 2006, everybody said, oh, you can never break into fitness and weight loss. It's way too competitive. And you're competing with companies that have millions of dollars in advertising budgets. And I just remember staying really true to an act of service and saying, well, if I can help people, then that's what I'm going to connect and devote my life to. And never knowing that this thing called YouTube was going to come along. And YouTube became the platform where I was able to get page 1 of Google for keywords like weight loss secret and exercises to lose weight. And I think about that revolution. I mean, we would never have been able to compete with these huge brands and marketing budgets. But today you can put together your own tribe, your own community. And that's what's so amazing about what's happening today.
Hands away from the group, or the power away from the group, and gives it back to the individual. So that's why when people like give social media a bad rep, I'm like, dude, it's actually like kind of really freaking cool.
Absolutely. And it's all about, it's like anything. It's like how you use it, you know, it's a tool and how you use it. And when you're spreading light and helping people and lifting people up, it's a wonderful platform. Yeah. Well, I love that you are on your journey as a creator and an influencer and a business builder. And I would love to ask you some questions that allow us just to get to know you on a deeper level, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is just going to be rapid fire. So whatever comes up, you know, without thinking it too fast, just like rapid fire questions. And we're going to get through as many as we can. Okay. Are you ready?
Love it.
You're used to being on game shows, right? So, all right, here we go. So what is your star authority power?
Compassion.
Excellent. Can you explain more of that?
I just think that my biggest thing that I feel like I'm here to teach is to help people be more compassionate towards themselves and towards others.
Wow, that's really beautiful. You wouldn't expect that, you know, fashion and blogging, but that's a really beautiful star power. Okay, next question. What book has had the most influence on your life?
Probably A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
And why is that?
Honestly, it's really my spiritual philosophy wrapped up. Like if like it's my equivalent of the Bible, essentially, for someone who is kind of eclectic like me.
That's amazing. And if you were to describe it in one sentence, how would you explain that book to somebody watching?
So I would explain A New Earth as a spiritual philosophy for how to surround yourself with abundance.
Fantastic. That's a great soundbite quote right there. I love that book. That's an amazing book. Super powerful. Okay, next question. Who has most positively impacted your life?
Let's say my husband. Michael's
Good. And why is that?
I'm 8 months pregnant right now, so if I start crying, I'm so sorry. I'm very, very thankful for finding a man who has the confidence and like love of himself to really let a woman like me take control of her dreams. And like he has pushed me to believe that I can create an empire, and he has supported me in my just like crazy ideas and like bringing structure to them to bring them to life. And he is going to make me a mom this year.
Oh, that's so precious. You have to show him this clip. Well done. What is his name?
Alex.
Alex. Oh, well done, Alex. You can always tell the integrity of a man by how his woman shines. Fantastic. Yeah. And congratulations on your pregnancy.
My bump, it's down here. Here. There he is.
Oh my God, there it is. I have to say that's the first official baby bump we've had on my show. Thank you. That is so cute. Well, you can actually tell your child you were on a TV show whenever you were in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to hear a lot of stories from when he was in the womb, I'll tell you that much.
Quite an interesting time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so Craig. Okay, so here we go. Keep going with the questions. Well, what's your favorite subject to talk about?
Science.
Why is that?
It was just my favorite subject in school. I love absolutely everything to do with not just like, I'm a big psychology nerd, so I love social science, but I freaking love genetics. And if you could get me talking about CRISPR, I would talk about CRISPR for ages. So I just think there's just so many fucking physics, man. String theory, like if you could just put me in a setting where people are talking about string theory, and I'll be really excited, just because I just think that there's just so much to this universe that we just don't know about. There's so many mysteries that are yet to be uncovered, and it's so exciting.
I love your enthusiasm. Well, look, I'm a science geek too. I have a degree in biology, so
We could talk for hours then.
we could totally geek out and go really, really deep. See, I knew we had so much in common. Yes, it is amazing to really devote time and space and your consciousness to deciphering parts of the universe that we can understand. And I think it's a wonderful exercise for the mind. So anyone who doesn't have science as part of their vocabulary or part of their interests, here you go, encouraging you to get out there and start learning.
Radiolab. Just listen to some Radiolab. It's the best podcast.
Nice. Thanks for the tip. I'm totally into it. Okay. See, I never know what I'm going to get and learn on this show, which is so exciting for me. Okay. Here's an interesting question. What's that?
I said, I'm glad I'm full of surprises.
Yes, you are. You have me cracking up. Okay. Well, what was your very first job?
Oh, I love this one. I worked at a movie theater.
What were you doing?
High school. So it was actually, this is kind of a fun fact. So I grew up in Minnesota, and right down the street from Prince's old studio. And so I actually worked at the movie theater that he would like privately rent out. So unfortunately it wasn't like super often. It was just a regular family owned movie theater, but every once in a while he would call up and say he wanted to see a movie. So we'd shut down the theater and he could get his own private showing. So that was kind of cool. But I worked there for 5 years and I started just, you know, serving popcorn and cleaning the theaters. And then I worked my way up to being a ticket sales lady. And then I went off to college.
So you got to really interact with a lot of different types of people, and you got to watch all the good movies too, right?
Oh my gosh, and it was a little community of high school kids that all worked there, and we'd get the screeners for the movies early, and so we could watch them before they came out, and you know, just do like our own little viewing, and it was a precious time.
Aw, I love that. Well, it's interesting to see how, you know, you're still the visual medium and interacting with people. It's always interesting to hear about a business owner's first job because I think it has some thread that continues.
Yeah, I never really thought of that, but you're right. I watched a lot of, I mean, I probably watched more movies in high school than it probably would have been good for me, but
But you were working. You were working.
yes, I was developing a creative muscle.
Uh-huh. Yeah, amazing. I love film as well. Huge influence on me. All right. So here's your next question. You're doing so good with this. What are your 3 gifts that you share with the world?
Well, we talked about compassion earlier. Let's see. I think, oh gosh, I know this is a rapid fire, but I want to think about it well. Okay, so compassion is the first one. We'll go with that. The second one, my gift would be helping people with confidence. And then the third would be, let's think about this. I would say helping people find their purpose as well.
Nice. Beautiful. Like through music, through fashion, by helping them really tune into who they are.
Yeah, as artists, I think it's really helping people embrace their own creativity. Yeah.
Amazing. See, you did so great with that. I know we're putting you on the spot here, but you're awesome. Okay, speaking of movies, if you could have any actress in the world play you in a movie, who would it be?
Well, people say I look like Lily James a lot, so I think Lily James might play me. My husband's shaking his head. He says Keira Knightley.
Oh, very cool.
I think I'd want Keira Knightley maybe just because like she played my favorite literary character of all time in Pride and Prejudice. So if she can be Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice, then she can be Quigley too.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll have to call her and tell her she's got the part. Yes, I could totally see that. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think it because she has brown hair, but as soon as you said it, it's like, oh yeah, your facial features are almost spot on.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so what is the best place that you've ever traveled?
It's funny because this answer has changed a lot throughout the course of my life, but I will say it is the dock of my lake cabin up in northern Minnesota. I've traveled there a billion times. It's not like a one specific time. It is just the most, I've seen a lot of places in the world, and that to me is just the most precious place. My grandpa built the cabin when my mom was 3 years old, and it is just pristine, it's peaceful, and it is just where I go to reconnect with my soul.
Oh, that sounds amazing. What a special place in the world for you and your family. And I bet your little one is going to also have amazing memories there.
Yeah, I can't wait to take him up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. What a nice answer. You've got so much depth to you.
Oh, thank
Okay. Now, because I'm a publisher and I love books, I've got to ask you, who is your favorite author?
you. Oh man. I have to say probably Brene Brown. There's nothing she touches that isn't freaking fantastic. At the moment, I would say Brene Brown, but I think in general, I've always loved Eckhart Tolle. Like I said, I did have an obsession with the Harry Potter books growing up. Unfortunately, I can't say J.K. Rowling is my favorite author though. And what else do we have? I really love everything that Malcolm Gladwell does. I love everything that what's his name? Jonah Berger does.
Okay, well, we just said your favorite.
Oh, yeah, favorite Brene Brown. Cool.
Okay, perfect. But I love hearing all the other influences and the authors. It's hard to just pick one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brene Brown is incredible. The movement that she's created around vulnerability, I mean, it's really, talk about psychology, it's changed our conversations in business and in life. So she's created a movement with her books.
Absolutely.
Really powerful. Okay, here we go. Second to last question. You're doing really great. So imagine you have an extra $1 million to give away. Who do you give it to and why?
I think right now, just with the stage where I'm at in life, I would want to give it to probably an organization that helps women through pregnancy. I've been working a little bit with some agencies that help provide people with doula support, which I feel really passionate about women having the psychological support during birth, not just the medical support, but because it's just it's a lot to do with mindset, and it's a lot to do with spirituality and connecting with our bodies. And I just think that more women should have access to that kind of support system during their pregnancies. So it would probably be an organization like Every Mother Counts.
Oh, that's wonderful. Amazing. And thank you for using your voice to spread that message. It just makes me have some curiosity if you're comfortable sharing it. What kind of a birth are you going to have?
I'm having a home birth.
Wow.
Doing it. I've got a midwife, I've got a doula, and we've got a tub.
Nice. All right.
Natural birth. We'll see what happens.
Well, blessings to you. And I love that you're putting that message out there, because very few women are able to make that choice. And so I'm so glad that you're, again, using your voice to talk about it.
It's been cool.
Yay. Well, I can't wait to hear all about it. We'll have to do an update once. Amazing. Okay, I could go off on a tangent there, but I'm just going to dial it back into Star Authority. Okay, last question. What's your secret indulgence?
Cooking, probably. Oh, no, it's not secret. Hold on, let me think of an actual secret. Oh, no, it's not secret either. I don't have any secrets. I've lived my life so publicly. I will say, well, can we pivot it to guilty pleasure?
Yes, we can make an exception because you live your life transparently, which I love that answer as well. So what is your guilty pleasure that's not a secret?
Love Island, man. Quarantine has had me watching every freaking season of Love Island. I never in a million years thought I would watch a reality TV show that is 50 hours long, but I have.
Oh, you are so adorable. Well, that is
with an Australian or a British accent.
There you go. Makes those quarantine hours just fly by, doesn't it? Oh, it's so cute. Amazing. Well, you got through the rapid fire question and answer. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, this has really been a very fun show. I knew that we were going to be in for some surprises because you are really living your greatest expression for your life, for your business, for your brand. And just to kind of tie it all together, do you think that these gifts that you have so many talents, singing and fashion and writing and science. Do you think that it's your responsibility to share your gifts with the world? And where does that come from, this desire to share your gifts?
I guess I don't know. I guess, like, when you say responsibility, it's like, I struggle with that word, but I would say that I find joy in sharing my gifts with other people and seeing the feedback, right? So when I get messages saying, hey, I learned this from you, or I bought this because of you, or, you know, I did this, or I changed this about my mindset, or I changed this about my life, or you inspired me to make this big leap of faith on myself. When I get the messages from people and I see the impact, that just makes me want to do it even more and bring it to a larger scale to have that effect on more and more people. I just feel good, you know, when I see the results of my work. I want to work harder. So does that answer your question?
It's a fantastic answer. And I love that perspective of, it's, a responsibility almost sounds like it's like a burden or something that you have to do. Whereas your response is that you're connected to your audience. It's a flow, it's a give, it's a take. You are enriched by giving because of the impact and the feedback that you receive.
Yeah, that's what motivates me. It's not like I feel like I have to, but I get to.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. And to conclude this very diverse and eclectic interview, I mean, we've covered everything from fashion to pregnancy. It's really been incredible. What would you give as your one big takeaway to the viewer on how they can build an authentic brand that really amplifies their star authority? What would be your greatest piece of advice?
My biggest piece of advice would be, don't try and do like, hold on. Let me get a good nugget for you here. First off, you are the only you. If it means trying on different hats, literally and figuratively, to find your secret sauce, do it as much as possible. But at the end of the day, know that no one can create your star power in the way you can create your star power. And the world's got to see your unique voice.
Amazing. What a great nugget. Love it. Well, you have been so much fun and so enlightening as well. And where can the viewer find you, follow you, continue to be entertained and inspired by your message?
Absolutely. Well, on socials, I'm officially Quigley, and officiallyquigley.com is where you can find the blog. And we also have a part of our business called The Social Media, SOUL, so social media. And that is educational resources for people who are content creators and businesses who want to increase their digital presence. So that is thesocialmedia.com.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I love the name. Well, thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you for lighting up our screens and our hearts. It's been so wonderful to have you, officially Quigley.
Thank you so much. This has been a really fun chat.
Yay! Well, congratulations on all your success. And thank you for watching Thank you for being a part of this journey as we amp up our star power, we raise our authority in order to share our message with the world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.